everybody. This is the second edition of Me Powered with Rhonda. I'm so glad to be here, and I've got a special guest tonight. She is my friend, she is my sister, she is my prayer warrior, my prayer partner, and she has an incredible story. Her name is Toyonda Williams. She is better known as Coach Toy, and she's going to be sharing her story with us today. And her book, she just wrote a book called It's Okay to Say Yes to You. And I'm telling you, it's flying off the shelves already. And I was able to be at her launch party, and I'm so excited to have her here. So I want to welcome her here. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and tell you how you can tune in. Make sure you share this right now. Lady J is going to come in real quick, and she's going to tell you how to tune in to make sure that everybody can be on with us while we're talking today. So Lady J, take it away.
All right. If this is your first time tuning in to JQLM Radio or the show, and you would like to share with your family, friends, and followers on how they can tune in as well, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQLM Radio via Amazon Alexa, the TuneIn app, Stream a Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms, of which you can find located on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us on social media. You can follow JQLM Radio at JQLM Radio on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also follow Ego Entertainment Network at EgoEntNet. That's EgoEntNet on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And make sure you connect with us on LinkedIn. And to connect with Rhonda, you can catch her at
on YouTube, I am at Rhonda L. Thompson. On Instagram, I've got a brand new page, me.powered, and you still know me already as Rhonda T and ATL. That hasn't gone anywhere. And you can also follow me on Facebook. I've got a brand new page on Facebook, which is just simply at Me Powered. And then my regular page is at Rhonda Thompson. LinkedIn is at Rhonda L. Thompson. And we're working on, got a brand new website coming up, which is going to be mepowered.co, not com, but .co. So those are all the ways to tune in with me and follow me as well. So I'm looking forward to catching up with you and getting you on the show, hopefully. So right now, I'd like to go ahead and bring my guest, Toyonda Williams, on the screen. Like I said, she is the author of It's Okay to Say Yes to You. She is my friend. She is my sister. I feel like, go like this, you know. How are you, Toy? It's so good to see you. You look beautiful. Who knew we'd both be in pink, right? Like minds think alike. I'm telling you, you are my sister from another mother. We are so connected that we even dress like without even thinking about it.
Yes, but we got our hair almost alike too.
I got a messy bun going on, and you got yours on. So I'm telling you, the only thing we're missing, I got my glasses on the table right now. So. No, you do your glasses. I mean, you look good either way. So
a little bit more distinguished, right?
Oh, no, you always look good. But welcome. I'm so excited to have you on Me Powered with Rhonda, and I'm so excited to share everything with you. So just real fast, just introduce yourself. Just tell everybody just a little bit about you before we get into the good stuff. And we gonna go in tonight. We're gonna go in.
Look, we hour, so I can take up the whole hour. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Hey, this is your hour, so yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm starting to get used to this, and I love it.
You better.
But I still don't even know really what to say much about myself. I'm from Jersey. Mm-hmm. I am a Jersey girl at heart. I went to the famous Eastside High School. You guys know the movie Lean on Me. That was my alma mater, class of '89. I was in the movie, so you're also talking to an actress.
But I did not know that.
Yes, I did. I mean, I was an extra, but
hey, that's okay. I've done a lot of extra work too.
But I was in the movie. I moved to Virginia Beach when I was about 23. Mm-hmm. Lived there for about 16 years. That's where me and my ex-husband, we had our son Imani, who will be 25 in about 3 weeks. Yeah, I think he'll be 25 in about 3 weeks. In Virginia is where I actually gave my life to Christ, and that whole transformation, true transformation, actually began. Though that's where this change of life actually occurred. A lot of pain occurred during that time. I went through separation, divorce, all of that stuff. But then I transitioned here to Atlanta, and I've been here almost 11 years. I think we met probably when I first came here.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause you and I had known each other for a minute. Yeah. And yeah, Worship at Wonders. Yeah, the church. We met at church. And yeah, that was incredible. I mean, and we have been we just connected from the jump. Our hearts just zoom. And yeah, it's been inseparable ever since then.
It's been
You know, and everything that I've done first, you've been there, and with your firsts, I've been there, you know, since we met each other. So I'm so honored to have you here on this platform, because the world needs to know who Toyonda is, who Coach Toy is, you know. And I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to get started. So welcome. And so you have a brand new book, and of course I have my copy right here. Say Yes to You. I got t-shirts. I got everything. I bought the t-shirts. I got everything. I went to your launch party. But before, well, let's just start here.
Okay.
You just released this, okay?
Yes,
and I'll tell you what, girl, it was so hard to get in touch with you. Sometimes you were in the mountains, sometimes you were in a beach. Sometimes I'm like, where are you now? And you were just all over the place writing, and you truly secluded yourself to write this. And this has been a labor of love. So tell everybody what you did in writing this book, because you didn't write the way most people write.
No, it took me 4 years. I mean, most people that know me, of course, that know that I like to write, probably think it would have only taken me maybe 30, 60, 90 days. But it started like back in 2018. I transitioned back to Virginia for a little while. My son was still in college. Probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to do the first time. Ooh, about to make me cry already, girl.
Oh, but that's all right. That's okay. I've watched Imani grow up too, so and he is grown up to be a fine, wonderful young man. So
thank you so much. But that's when I first started writing. I knew that I needed that time for myself after being consumed so much with, raising my son, as a single mom, and then going through a healing process myself, just, not questioning, but being reminded of my purpose and things like that. And so I started writing back in Virginia Beach, and I was at the halfway mark. And then I came back here to Georgia in 2019.
Yep. I remember my heart broke when you left. I was like, oh my God, what do you mean you're moving?
Yeah. I know, goodness. You're talking about your heart broke. Oh my goodness. Me and my son were both in a fetal position when I told him that I was relocated. I was relocated.
Yeah.
But so the writing just continued when I came back. But of course, coming back, I went right back into that same mode, the mommy mode, and making sure this is done and blah, blah, blah. And I just got to a place where I knew I had to finish this assignment, because there were so many other times or assignments that God had really given me, and visions and, just different ideas that he had given me, but I really didn't pursue it. And this was that one thing where I said, I'm getting this done. Yeah. This assignment is going to be completed. And it was just, pierced in my heart. Like I couldn't let it go. I couldn't shake it. Yeah. And because I was actually living it, saying yes to me. And I'm still saying yes to me. Yeah. Every day it's a decision to say yes to me. But don't forget the best part of it, where it says there's no permission or approval
required. Yes. Yeah. And I remember, I mean, you were there with my very first radio show, and it was just incredible. And you were saying, say yes to me even back then. And that's been 3 years now. Yeah. So, and you and I have had some talks. Like I said, people don't know. We have laughed together. We have cried together. I have snot cried. And you have prayed me through some serious things. And you've always said that to me. And it's like, even though I'm the counselor, every now and again, you got to be reminded, because then you're one of those people, and I only have a few that I can talk to, that
Right.
I can really go to, that I know is going to keep what I say,
Right.
to themselves, and is going to pray me through, and is going to give me sound counsel and wisdom, is going to be that friend. I mean, and you've told
Right.
me a couple of times, Rhonda, what the hell, it's like, and and then I've said the same thing to you. So it's like I'm so grateful for
A
our
mutual friendship.
relationship, because
Yeah.
it's more than that. It's a true
Yeah.
sister, like,
Yeah.
and I'm just so grateful. And when you have people like that in your life, I mean, you got to cherish them, and to see
Right.
you grow, and to see you at this point right now, my heart is elated for you. And when I was at the launch party, I was just so thrilled watching you shine. I mean, it was just
It
incredible.
was good. It
It
was
was
good.
incredible,
Yeah. And what I wrote in your book, I
Mhm.
really meant. And I wrote in her book that every time she says yes to herself, it helps me and pushes me to
Yep.
say yes to me. So every time she goes to the next level, you're coaching me. I'm watching you. You're being my mentor, even from the back end. I'm just watching you as you continue to launch and grow. So, it's a mutual friendship. We feed off of one another. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and they say, and it's true. Iron sharpens iron. So
Yeah.
you got to have those people that
Yeah.
I don't need yes people
No.
surrounding me. I need people that are like, okay, Rhonda, you really need to think about this, or what is this going to cost you in the end? And I know this is what you may want right now, and that will hold me up so that I can hold other people up too. And you're one of those people for me.
Yeah.
So I
Be
just I
true.
treasure you. I treasure
That's
you.
yes, that's the only way you grow is when you have people surrounding you that give you the truth, not what you want, but what you need.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, I'm thrilled. So it took you about 4 years to write the book.
Yep.
So let's get into what brought the book on. Like, why did you write it?
Oh God. I knew, first of all, outside of it being an assignment that I felt compelled to
Mhm.
do, and I responded to the call, but I knew that I wasn't the only person that had been dealing with all of the different things that I talk about in the
Right.
book. Most people know me. I'm not a stranger. There is no stranger. I don't meet a stranger, but most people know me, and I'm very transparent. If I'm not able to have a transparent conversation with you, clearly the Holy Spirit has just led me to just shut my mouth and
Yeah.
just relax and be still. You know what I mean? I've learned to kind of trust that energy that you
Yeah.
give it. So, but I knew that what I had been dealing with, what I had gone through, and God had revealed this to me, years ago, that is not about me.
Right.
All of the stuff that I went through, it's not about me. It's never about me. And
Right.
so, yeah, but yeah, just wanting to share it, wanting to knowing that my experiences can help somebody else and bring value, impact somebody else's life, honestly.
Right.
And I
Right.
know that it's not for everybody, but for those who would really take the time to, I think the title says it, what I'm saying, alone. And for those that really, I believe that whose hands it get in, it is going to make an impact in their life.
And it does. It catches you right from the beginning,
Mhm.
as you read it. I mean, and even down to your bookmark. Your bookmark is powerful.
Yeah.
The
Declaration.
declaration on the bookmark is incredible. And
Mm.
it's such a project of love, and it's really, really good. Now I asked you a question at your book launch, and I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Okay.
When was the first time that you said yes to you?
Hmm. I think I think it was when I went to Virginia.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it was when I went to Virginia. Um, I had been going back and forth with, do I leave now? My son is in college. I had rented my house out. I had only lived in this brand new house for
Hmm.
maybe 2 years.
Yeah, that house was gorgeous, especially that girl. That shower was
Yeah,
incredible.
I had only been there for 2 years, but again, being at mom making sacrifices, my
Right.
son needed to finish school without worrying about finances and paying his rent and everything. So I knew once I moved out of that house, I'm like, okay, now I'm back in this apartment, but I need something for me now. I need something for me. And I started to feel guilty about it, started to feel selfish, because everything was about, Imani, everything was about church, everything was about everybody else and me being present in everybody else's life, but I wasn't being present for Toy.
Right.
So when my girlfriend, one of my best friends in New Jersey, we've been friends since I was maybe 8 or 9, maybe 8 or 9, she asked me a question and she said, what does Toy want to do?
Yeah.
And I had to really sit and think about it because I'm like, she said, no, what does Toy want to do? Not what the people at church want Toy to do. What does Toy want to do?
Yeah.
And I had to really think about it. And so I had already been telling Imani that I feel I really need to transition, but I really didn't know that that would be the thing to help both of us to grow. Him as a young man,
Right.
me as just someone outside of, because I honestly became Imani's mom.
Oh yeah, no, that everything
know?
around you, you were everything about you was Imani. It was Imani, 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 and I get that, especially coming through the divorce, and especially when we're single parents, and then you do your best, you pour all your energy into your child, and we lose ourselves as parents a lot of times, and
Absolutely.
and I've been married and divorced and stuff as well, and I've been a single parent too, and I tell you what, my kids are grown now as well. You've seen that some of them grow up too. And when they're all grown, if you haven't really taken time to start to think about you, it's hard to remember what makes you happy, because
Absolutely.
it's like, who are you now that you're not
Absolutely.
somebody's mother, now that it's hard enough when you're not somebody's wife any longer.
Right.
So you give up that role. So you're like, okay, well, let me put all my energy into being the best mother I can be. But then we lose ourselves. And whenever we lose ourselves, whether it's with a person, romantically, or whether it's even with our children, we're not designed. It's not supposed to be that we lose ourselves.
Yeah.
And we do that so often as women, is we just give everything to everybody. And I get client after client after client, and I ask that same question. I'm like, what makes your heart sing? What gives you
Right.
what makes you happy? And they're like, I haven't thought about that in so long, Rhonda. I can't even tell you what makes me happy.
Right.
And
I
that's
always
the
tell
scary
people
part.
it is. And but I always tell people, just start with something small.
Yeah.
Go out, go treat yourself to dinner. What do you like to eat?
Yeah.
Not where you take your kids or whatever. What is that restaurant? Where's that restaurant that you are always thinking about that you just want to go to?
Right.
Where's that vacation that you really wanted to take? What color have you always wanted to change your hair? I mean, just thinking about what makes you happy. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but just something like you said that makes your heart sing.
Yep. And I used to, like, flowers make me happy. I love flowers. And I would be so heartbroken. Every time I get with a guy, I'm like, I love flowers. And none of these freaking men would buy me flowers. I'm like, it's so easy. I just want some flowers. And then I finally, and then I was like, you know what, doggone, I'm gonna start buying myself flowers, because, and it's not like a sad thing, but I'm like, if I want flowers, why would I wait for someone to get them for me? Because I love flowers, and so I enjoy that. And one of the lessons I learned with myself is this is how I knew I was putting everybody else first too, is the first time I went to get a bouquet, I picked this beautiful bouquet, right? It was gorgeous. And I looked at the price, it was almost $50. I was like, oh shoot, let me put that down, right? And I picked a cheaper bouquet. It was like $10. But I wanted the $50 bouquet. And Toy, I tell you, when I felt good about it, but I felt like I cheated myself. And now I have finally gotten to the point where I will buy a $50 bouquet.
Absolutely.
And people are like, you're wasting your money. I'm like, no, that makes me happy.
It makes me happy.
It makes me happy. And why am I going to discount myself?
Right.
And that's a realization, and that's a big deal when you've been a single mom your whole life, or you've been somebody's caretaker, and to put yourself first. And that
Absolutely.
was an indication of me saying yes to me, you know. And I like flowers, and it's okay that I love flowers.
It's
Rather
okay.
than spend $50 on a, something else, why not get something that's gonna make me happy?
That's it. Whatever brings a smile. One of the quotes that I put in the book is saying yes to you is like wearing a new dress and a new pair of shoes. It just
Mhm.
feels good and
Yeah,
you look differently.
you just, yeah, you get something in your step, and you hold your head a little higher, you got a little more bounce in your step, and your hair bounces, bouncing and behaving, like that commercial used to be from back in the day. And there's just this air of confidence about you, when you're saying yes to yourself more
It
and more.
is. And really, the people that are in your life,
Yeah.
they reap the benefits of it
Oh yeah.
because they get this healed, they get this person that has already been nurtured and restored and rejuvenated. So now I'm able to give out to you
Right.
with the fullness, with that same
Right.
level of joy, same level of peace, same level of love. I mean, so they reap the benefits of it.
Yeah, because
But
you're not looking for somebody
everybody's doing
else.
it.
Yeah,
Everybody's doing
and
it.
you're pouring into you instead of looking to all these other people. You're pouring into yourself, so now you can pour out of your abundance instead of your
Right.
depletion.
There you go, Miss Counselor.
So, um, I want to get more into your story. I know we're going to be taking a break in a few minutes, but I want to start your story as far as because you've dealt with a lot of things. I mean, to look at you now, everybody who is just seeing you for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. She's got this awesome chair. She's just stylish. She doesn't look like, I would never think this woman would have ever dealt with, I'm gonna say the S word, with suicide. I never would think she would have
Right.
dealt with that.
Right.
No, she's never had a hard time. You don't wear
Mm,
what you've been through. And
mm,
that's the greatest,
mhm.
um, that's just the greatest accomplishment and the greatest blessing of them all. Because if people knew half of your story,
Right.
they would not know how you have the power to sit there like you do now with that big smile on your face and in yet another brand new house and
Yes.
living your best life.
Yes. Mhm.
So what, tell them, share with them the parts that you want to share, because I don't want to share what you don't want to share. But like, what are some of the struggles that you have truly had, that you had to dig deep down and realize that there was something inside of you already to help get you out of that? Where were the things that you had to pull yourself out of?
Um, like you said, there were quite a few things. I had dealt with, the low self-esteem and the depression and, the suicide. I'm not ashamed to share any of it because, when you've been healed, you've been delivered,
Yeah,
you've been set free,
absolutely.
there's nothing that you can really hold over me
Yeah,
pertaining to that. So I don't mind
exactly.
sharing it. And the word says that we overcome
Yeah,
by the words of our testimony.
testimony. Yep.
So, when we hold those things in, we're really holding it, we're holding other people hostage
Right.
because somebody else needs to hear it.
Yeah.
But I think, and I'll go back to even when I was younger, because the suicide started at a very early age. I think just dealing with some of the rejection,
Hmm.
some abandonment. I grew up and my mom was abused. And I talk about that in the book,
Yeah.
that my mom was abused. So seeing those types of things, kind of, played a part. And then, the suicide, I used to cut myself.
Hmm.
And actually, for a long time, those scars were still there. I had a couple
Hmm.
of friends that knew back in high school about the cutting and all, but they would cover me. I would just go to their house, but there was still something in me where I was just always curious, like, there has to be more.
Yeah.
There has to be something bigger. That I need to know why I'm here.
Right.
What my purpose is. And of course, once I got connected, of course,
Mhm.
to the creator of my purpose,
Right.
that's when things really started to
Yeah.
change. But in the depression and of course, growing up, a dark skin, they used to talk about you. Y'all
Mhm.
laughing now. Look, I heard somebody say you didn't want me then, but now you can't have
Look
me.
at you now, girl. Like Gino says, everything is an asset. I love that, because
Right.
when he was doing my pictures, I was like, oh, I'm too big. He's like, no, everything is an asset.
Everything is
Yeah,
an asset. Oh, I love
everything
this
is an
topic,
asset.
girl. love this.
Everybody needs a Gino in their life. I'm telling you, that man will
Amazing.
make your ego soar.
He is an amazing
Yeah,
photographer.
he is.
But dealing with that, just the way that I look, people,
Mhm.
I wore glasses,
Yeah.
when I was younger. My maiden last name was Black, so they used to call my last name first, and it
Gotcha.
was so they'd be like Black Toyonda. I got into a lot of fights about that
Yeah.
too, but
Yeah.
they'd be like Black Toyonda.
Mhm.
So just that, and then of course when the separation, here I am, I'm thinking that this is going to be my forever.
Right.
And then to be told, I never wanted to be married, never wanted to have kids, and just completely messed me up. Everything was a lie to me at that
Yeah.
point. So just that's when the suicide and depression really just got deeper. But God began to really show me, and one of the is that my issues started way before
Mhm.
my ex-husband, and so that's why I don't come on and talk to anybody about bashing him,
Oh
because
no, because you wouldn't have been with him had your self-esteem not
right,
been
right,
low. I mean, because you attract what you believe you deserve,
right.
and yeah, so people
Forgiveness
don't
was the key.
understand that. Yeah,
Yeah. And forgiveness was the key.
yeah,
Forgiveness for myself, my son. I mean, for my ex,
right.
and just that. I mean, I share about having had an abortion,
Mhm.
devastated me. Even with that, at a very young age. So finally forgave myself, for that. But just I mean, just a bunch of stuff, that I share, even in a book. So
Yeah.
very transparent. But I know that
Mhm.
I would not be here if I had not, if it had not been for God and me
Right.
really just, being desperate. I think that was the main thing, me
Yeah.
just really being desperate for
Yeah.
that something new, for that
Yeah.
something different,
Yeah.
for that, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, right? So
Yeah.
I was just waiting for that. Like I could see it, but I just didn't know how long it was going to take to get there.
I have two scriptures that carried me through all my stuff. And a lot of times I'll say the one scripture, people are like, where is that? I never read that. But I promise you it's in there where it talks about where he says, I found you in your own blood and I said to you, live. And I'm like, that's where God found me at the height of stripping, at the height of
Wow.
sex addiction, at the height of low self-esteem, abortion. I mean, same thing. I've been through all.
Oh
And
yeah.
then the other scripture that kept me, like when I lost all my kids, like that's the picture right there. When I lost all my kids to foster care, and they said it was only gonna be like 24 hours because it was somebody made an anonymous tip just being malicious. It took me 14 months to get them back. And I'm fighting. But the other scripture that kept me was be not afraid of their faces, for I am with you. And that keeps me today. Like even when I get afraid is, because sometimes I'll battle fear of
Right.
having to face other people, because for a long time I would think I wasn't qualified. And I was like, I would see people and their faces and pointing and stuff. And that's the thing that still carries me is be not afraid of their faces. For I am with
Mhm.
you to
Mhm.
deliver you, and I'm like, okay, God, let me just chill.
And you don't have to know a whole bunch of, and I used to think that I had to know a whole bunch of Bible stories and things like that, but one of the scriptures that I learned when I first gave my life to Christ, I didn't think that this would be the one to really carry me through, but it's two. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, where it says, trust in the Lord
Mhm.
with all of thy heart and lean not unto thy own understanding, but in
Right.
all of thy ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your path. And then
Mhm.
the other one is Romans 8 and 28, when he says that all things work together
Yep.
for the good of them that love the Lord
Yep.
and are called according to his
Yep.
purpose. All of it's going to work
Absolutely.
together. Because he
Absolutely.
said, our ladder, hey,
It's gonna be greater. And
not
I
full.
said 2022, it's got two twos on it because he said he'll give you double for all your trouble. So we're in the year of 2022. We're about to get double for everything, and I've got a sign on my fireplace right now. It just simply says be still and know. And I'll look at that sign all the time. I'm like, okay, Rhonda, just be still, just be still. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do is just be still and know that it's going to be okay. It's going to,
Yep.
and people need to know it's going to be okay.
Yes.
You're going to get through onto the other side and everything. Well, I know we got to take a break because we're at 6:30 where, I have to watch my time and stuff like that. But we're going to take a break in a few minutes, and we will be right back, and we'll be picking up, and we are talking to Toyonda Williams, Coach Toy, author of It's Okay to Say Yes to You. We will be right back.
Yes, ma'am.
Book your next event at the Gallery Event Center. The 1,600 square foot space offers packages and a la carte services and items. All packages include tables, chairs, projector, and screen, a 60-inch Apple TV, wireless microphone, a kitchenette, EV speaker system with surround sound, so no DJ is needed, cell phone charging station, and plenty of parking. Birthday parties, baby showers, bridal showers, pop-up shops, and more. Book now at thegalleryeventcenter.com or call 317-534-6399, or take a tour at 5852 East 82nd Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. The Gallery Event Center. Book your event with us today.
If you're tired of hearing the same music and content every 5, 10, or 15 minutes on air, then check out JQLM Radio for the realest, rawest, and most relevant variety of music, talk shows, and more. Start your days with a little bit of gospel and gospel rap from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All of my life, I've never known you to fail. You deliver me. 'Cause all I seem to do is coming and breaking it down with that wiggity style, man. We really living it out, don't miss it.
Then get into some hot R&B.
Say baby, what you doing? Excited.
Some hip hop.
Falling in deep with the quicksand. Flag on my head, oh quick run. I was packing on the pound, got my
time and I heard that
A little bit of pop.
watermelon sugar, strawberries.
And some neo soul for the rest of the day. JQLM Radio, real, raw, and relevant.
Holds my hand.
Simply Serenity Empire and YizorTV.com presents the Valentine's Day Comedy Show with headliners T.P. Hearn, as seen on BET and Def Comedy Jam, featuring Louisville's Meech Dog, Lil Stephanie, Indy's own Denise the Comedian, and the original DJ Flip. Hosted by Robert Sweaty Hands Day. It's going down February 11th at 8 p.m. inside the ballroom located at 7055 East 16th Street in Indianapolis, Indiana. Doors open at 7 p.m. General admission is $20. Table seats are $30. VIP is $40. Get your celebrity comedian meet and greet tickets for only $10. Meet and greet begins at 5:30. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Pictures will not be allowed after the show. Get your tickets now at simplyserenityempire.com. That's simplyserenityempire.com. Temperature checks and masks will be required to enter. COVID rules will be reinforced.
Hey there. If you can hear my voice, this is Pamela, host of Hospitality, here to remind you that Ego Entertainment Network has a lot for your business. Listen, honey, you need to get with it. Ego Entertainment offers various services, media coverage, red carpet services, promo interviews on air. They offer meet and greet services, honey, not to mention other event services. You want to get in gear. Ego Entertainment is empowered greatness optimized. We're now booking and spots are going fast. Ego serves the United States and all event types, honey. So if you are opening a business, having a store opening, a restaurant opening, and you want some coverage, Ego Entertainment is the way to go. Call or text 317-886-0296 or go to egoentertainmentnet.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We are talking to Toyonda Williams, better known as Coach Toy. She is the author of It's Okay to Say Yes to You. She is my friend, my sister, powerful prayer partner. And so if you're tuning in right now, go ahead and watch the replay, the beginning of it, because she just shared some good stuff. I want to take a second and just acknowledge some people that are tuning in with us. Okay, well, here's one right there on the screen. Tatawana Sutton, she says she loves it. Proverbs 3:5-6, Philippians 4:13. You ladies are doing exactly that. And Keisha is watching too. Keisha Davis Henry, she's watching too. So everybody, thank you for tuning in, and make sure to share this. Now, before we get going, I want you to do me a favor, because we're talking about some really good stuff right now, and I think it's perfect. I want you to read your bookmark.
Oh, wow.
The way that you read it at your launch party, because I can't do it justice compared to the way, girl, I felt that when you read this. So, and what was your, and before you read this, this is not a typical bookmark. So why did you make this available for people?
Well, we know that the power of life and death is in the tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to declare a thing. And once you declare a thing, it's going to be established.
Yeah.
So when you read things like this, after each chapter of the book, I actually have something for you to declare, something for you to apply, and then something for you to meditate on. And so I wanted to make sure, even if you didn't have your book with you, that this was something that you could hold on to and be able to declare it no matter what you're dealing with. So this right here is basically like just some self-encouragement for you. Yeah, it's okay to say yes to you.
Yep, I got mine right here. I got mine. Go ahead, girl.
All right, so here it is. It says, it's okay to say yes to you. I declare today that I will say yes to me when no one else says yes to me. I will say yes to me with tears running down my face. I declare I will be strong, courageous, confident, and bold in the face of fear. My mindset is being completely transformed and renewed. I declare today that I will be relentless in my pursuit of yes, relentless in my pursuit of breakthroughs, relentless in my pursuit of my dreams and every God-given promise. I am blessed and unstoppable.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, if that don't get you going on your day, see, I got goosebumps, okay? Because I love to declare stuff, because you're bringing it to life. You really are.
Absolutely.
And people say a lot of times, what you think about, you got to change your thoughts, but you got to realize you will have just what you say. And people don't realize a lot of stuff that they let come out of their mouth. They're wondering why they're in all this stuff, and you've got to be very careful what comes out your mouth, because if you set an intention, like some people will get up and they're like, oh, I got up on the wrong side of the bed, my day is ruined.
Right.
Well, you just declared it. You just set it in motion. I mean, your words are so powerful. I tell people all the time, language shapes your reality. I mean, and you will have just what you say. So why not declare something positive and powerful? Right?
Shift the atmosphere altogether. You have the power to shift the atmosphere.
You really do. You really do. That is so exciting. Now, talk now as far as more about your book, and I have mine here too, and I've been, I love how you've got I'm going to show them how you got like the bullet points and stuff,
okay,
and everything, and you go through and walk people through it too. So what was your mindset for doing that rather than just being a regular book like everybody else does with their life story?
Well,
yours is different.
Yeah, I shared my and I was told not to do that, because if Leslie, if you're watching, I'm trying to keep it together. She was like, Toy, you be nervous and you just be moving around. So I'm gonna try to stop.
I was told, Rhonda, your camera's bouncing when you move. That's why, if you've noticed, guys, I've gotten really stiff. Like, I'm usually like all over. I'm like, okay, wait, my camera's bouncing. Let me sit still. So
you just get excited, girl.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, one, of course, be relevant, right? In order to be relevant. And then people know me. I think that it's doing really well too. One, because it's something people are being very supportive,
Yeah.
but they know Toy and they know
Mhm.
that I am going to be transparent.
Yeah.
I'm going to be that motivator. I'm going to be that encourager. I'm going to be truthful. And so
Mhm.
if I had written anything else but that, they would have been like, nah, this ain't even her voice. This ain't even Toy.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be relevant. So of course I had to be transparent and share some things. And then being a coach, I wanted to give some actual tips, but not overly, just, like it's class, but
Right.
it's something for people to think about. So you got to give some type of call to
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But sharing those testimonies and then letting people know or sharing with them just a few bullets of who they are. So for that
Mhm.
person that's dealing with, depression or really not knowing who they are or understanding purpose or wondering how certain, negative thoughts, I'm saying, they really respond to it and that they have control over it. You got to share these things with
Oh yeah,
people.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
because people don't realize that they have more control than they realize.
exactly. So I mean, there are other, different techniques that they could
Mhm.
actually get. I mean, I know that there are tons of them, but it's only 150 pages.
Right.
I wanted it to be an easy read too.
It is, and it's an easy, quick read, and it's
Yeah.
something that the way it's written, you're compelled to keep going to the next.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to stop. It's like, okay, wait, let me just go to the next one because the chapters are not long either.
No.
So that's another good thing. That's
Yeah.
so you can knock out a few
Yeah.
chapters, in no time at all. So
I
that
wanted
is
to give something that I would read, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
don't want to get bored. So I
Yeah.
think I'll put a lot of it at the front, then a
Yeah.
little bit in the middle, then more at the end, and just pow, hit you all up.
Yeah. That it does. That it does. Now I want to make sure that people know how to follow you and everything because I
Yeah.
can't believe our hour is going by as quickly
my
as it is. We're coming into the last 15 minutes already.
Mhm.
But how do people follow you on social media or get in touch with you and get a copy of your book?
Okay, absolutely. You can order it directly from Amazon. Just enter in my name, Toyonda Williams.
Mhm.
The ebook is available, paperback and hardcover. I actually just spoke to a producer today. So for those of you that are wanting the audiobook,
Yeah.
it's about to happen. We're
Awesome.
about to work on the audiobook. So that's on Amazon. But then you can also go to my my website, toyondawilliams.com. You can follow me on Instagram, so it's Coach Toy,
Mhm.
or you can go to Facebook. It's okay to say yes to you.
That's awesome. And I got to show now, you've got the best t-shirts. I got one of each color. All right. You got the red, says it's okay to say yes to you, the white with the red, and then you've got the black.
Well, you got both of them.
I did, girl, because I like them. I need my black t-shirt with my light blue jeans, and I need my white t-shirt with my dark blue jeans. I'm like, and I just love, and it just simply says it's okay to say yes to you.
It's
You
a
know,
reminder.
no permission or approval needed, and and it just makes you feel good. It's like one of those things that makes you feel good because I've got this shirt that I wear too. It says I'm awesome. And it just makes you feel good. And it's not like this arrogant thing, but it's like, wow, and people, and it's red and black like that too. And it always is a conversation starter, but like, I just love the way that that's written and it's in the exact same font as your book and everything too. So that's great. Now I would like to ask you right now to talk, if for the person that's watching this right now that is struggling with saying yes to them, maybe they've never done it, maybe they're afraid to, or maybe they lost themselves like you and I were talking about. I want to give you the opportunity to speak to that person from your perspective because you're my guest. This is not about me and stuff like that, so I want them to hear and just get a little taste of Coach Toy. And what would you say to that person right now that's struggling to say yes to them?
Yeah. Understand that one, you were brought with a price, right? So you're very valuable. That's first thing. You're very valuable. You're very valuable in God's eyes. You are the apple of his eye. And this goes for men too. I find that there are a lot of men out there that have a hard time saying yes to them. So to my sister, to my brother, you are worth saying yes to. And then take a moment to just really sit alone. That's the thing a lot of people are afraid to do,
Yeah.
to just sit alone, because it's in those alone times that you really begin to be okay with who you are.
Yeah.
And even if you're not okay with who you are, when you sit alone and you meditate and you spend some time with your creator, who, people serve many different gods, but when you sit and spend time with your creator, you sit in silence, you will be amazed at the things that he begins to just download, the peace that comes upon you, the joy that is restored. And it's like he begins to remind you of what your purpose is, and remind you too that you were fearfully. I would love for you to know that you were fearfully and wonderfully made. And he knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. So his plan is for you to prosper.
Yeah.
His plan is for you to live life and live it abundantly. Don't just be alive, but actually live. So whatever your yes is, I don't care if it's changing the color of your hair. This is different for me, but I didn't care, is what I wanted. You
Yeah.
know, if you want to go and purchase that home, if you want to just do something as simple as taking a walk. And of course, even if you don't know how to say yes to you, pray.
Yeah.
Ask God to really show you how to say yes to you. You may be sitting there crying, like, God, I don't know what to. But as you begin to release this unto Him and you lay these things down at the altar, He will begin to restore you, replenish you, and
Right.
give you clear vision.
Yeah.
He will remove all of the scales from your eyes and give you a clear vision.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful. And and people need to know, and it that it there's nothing wrong with saying yes to you, because
No, don't
we're
feel
trained,
guilty.
we're brought up to think that's selfish. We're brought up to think that we're being arrogant. We're brought
Yep.
up to thinking that, we must sacrifice all the time, and,
Yep.
and we're made to feel guilty. But, if you're not taking care of yourself and saying yes to yourself, I mean, that's the greatest form of self-care and self-love you can do, because you can't pour from something that you don't have. And, and I love what you said about spending time with yourself, because, I'll tell clients all the time, if you can't stand you, what makes you think somebody else want to be with you? Because a lot of times, one of the biggest myths is, Jerry Maguire, you complete me. No, no, no.
Right.
If you're looking for somebody else to fulfill you, to complete you, you're so far off track, because you're broken. And, and I'll tell my clients all the time, two broke pieces don't make a whole. You have to get whole first, and, and they got to get whole first, but nobody can make you happy, and you can't make anybody else happy. That's an internal job that you have to do.
Internal.
Yeah.
People put that responsibility on other
Right.
people, and
Right.
that's too much pressure, because
Exactly.
no human is going to truly satisfy you.
No.
No human.
No.
I don't care your wife,
Yeah.
your husband, your
Yeah.
kids. You will not find that true fulfillment. You
Right.
know what I mean? And that you need in
Yeah.
people, and you will constantly be disappointed. I don't
Absolutely.
mean to paint everything like it's so rosy
Right.
all the time. You know what I mean? Because God said, how can you reign with me unless you suffer with me? And then
Right.
it talks about, after you have suffered a little while,
Right.
then it'll establish you. So
Mhm.
you're going to go through things, but the thing is, you got to keep pushing. You
Yeah.
got to keep pressing. It doesn't matter, because that's when you learn really how strong you are and
Right.
what you're really made of.
Right. And, and it's wonderful, because, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who you serve. Like, I'll tell people all the time, I don't care who you worship. I don't care who you're sleeping with. I don't care if you're sleeping with a goat. I don't care if you're worshiping a cow. I don't care what it is. It's like that's their thing. But everybody was put here for a purpose. You were created. Everybody was created and
Absolutely.
put on this planet because you have something special that only you can do. That's why
Absolutely.
you're here. And once you can tap into that, and once you can find out what that is, and once you get a taste of it, man, that's like the greatest thing in the world, because that's the thing that everybody searches for.
That's
So people
significant.
is
Being
significant.
accepted.
It's a search for significance, and they want to belong, and they want to. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. Everybody wants to make an impact. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to feel safe. That's
Right.
the thing we all share. It doesn't matter what our gender is, our identity. Doesn't matter what our race is. Everybody shares those same components, and like I love what Maya Angelou says. We're more alike than unalike. Once you sit down and talk to somebody, you realize they go through the same things. They may be on the other side of the world, but guess what? They're dealing with the very same thing. And you've got a lot more in common with people than you think you do. You're not the only person going through it. And a lot of times we think we're the only ones,
Yeah.
And
I'm surprised that some of the people that, well, I ain't even gonna say I'm surprised, because you being a counselor, of course, coaching, you learn, one, you're non-biased, right? So you learn nothing really kind of startles you, like, oh my God, you've been through that, or you did that. You're like, okay, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Some people are like, Toy, I don't even like to read. But once I picked your book up, I couldn't put it down, or I see myself in your book. And some people, taking sabbaticals from social media and all of that to really start to put into practice some of those things. They're very practical. Some of the things that, that's included in the book. So that's what I meant to do. I was intentional about that, because I'm not going to make it difficult. Why we got to do all of that? Just make it simple. Let's make it simple.
Yeah, that's awesome. And simple is sometimes the best. Like, I'm working on something myself right now, and which will be out soon. And, have you ever been in a room, Toy, where, I mean, everybody just talks over everybody's head.
Yeah.
And they have to use all this language to show, and it's like, come on, could you just say that in regular English? Because nobody talks like that. Nobody, except for the upper echelon or whatever. And most of the times when people are doing that, they're trying to show how much they know, because they're actually insecure, because they actually don't feel qualified. So it's actually like a subconscious thing. But I love that your book is so, it's such an easy read, and and the depths of what you hit are so deep, and they're so practical, like you said, and it really will change your life, guys. It really will. And a lot of times we complicate things, don't we? We really do. We complicate things, and
we lose people when we do that too, when we complicate it, because people want to be heard. Period. They want to be heard, and you have to give them a safe space to do that. They want to be heard, and if they feel like you are, like as if they're inferior, because they're already struggling with some things. So why put yourself or present it like you've come to this pinnacle that they cannot reach?
Right.
And God says, I have no respect of person. So you don't have anything that nobody else can attain.
Right. And then they're going to shut down. You may have lost the opportunity for that person to open up to you, because now they feel like not qualified to talk, or like you're above them. And, and what could have been a blessing actually ends up, you lost an opportunity, and I love how you said earlier that, you have to fulfill that destiny, because somebody else's destiny is connected to it. Because if you didn't write this book, there's going to be somebody that is reading this book that doesn't have the courage to go to a church, that doesn't have somebody to talk to, or maybe they're not even Christian, but it doesn't matter. But you're going to reach somebody that all they have is this book,
right?
And that's going to be enough. That's going to be enough. And they get the courage to say yes to them for the first time in their life. And so, I mean, just knowing that you are impacting lives, you're changing lives, and you're already doing it. It's already evident. And I'm just excited for where you're going to go. I'm thrilled. I am very, very thrilled. And I'm so glad that you were my guest. And now, do you have anything coming up real quick before we get ready to wind down? Do you have anything coming up new?
No, outside of doing the audio book.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be attending a few pop-up events that are happening here in Atlanta. I probably got about like 5 of them. There's something on January the 29th. Then February, I have something going on for the next 4 or 5 months. And I'm working actually, supposed to have this conversation with a young lady about actually doing a conference in Miami. So more to come on that. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. But guys, make sure to follow her and stay up to date with everything that she's doing. Thank you for being my guest, and everybody share this. And, before we wind down, I always like to close out. I gave you the way to follow me, but I always like to close out with something. And, again, mirroring what Coach Toy said about saying yes to you, the hardest thing to realize is that you were created for a purpose. And once you can tap into why you're here, you start to say yes to yourself, there's a freedom that comes with that. And so many times we're afraid to say yes to ourselves because we're afraid that we're going to lose people. We're afraid that, people are going to think we're arrogant or whatever. And that's not the case. Saying yes to you is the greatest act of love that you can do for yourself, because as you say yes to yourself, you start to take care of yourself more and more, and you begin to be the best you that you can be. Because when you start fulfilling your own needs, like the tagline of the show is, everything you need is already inside of you, but it starts with you. You got to be the one to say yes to you. Me and Toy, we could cheer you on all we want.
Right.
We can clap for you. We could pray for you, but you ultimately, you got to be the one to say yes to you, no matter how big or how small it is, like she said, and it could be as simple as, forgiving yourself for that mistake that you made. It could be as simple as apologizing for something that you've done, which is a big thing, or just looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I love you. That's a hard one. That if you want something hard to do, look in the mirror and tell yourself you love you, and see if you don't break down and cry. So
Come on.
it's those little things, but we got to be transparent. And in saying yes to you, that you're being in front of you. And we run for so long and we hide for so long, but until you say yes to you, nothing's going to open up. So it's time to say yes to you, so you can get on the road to being the best version of you and serve everybody else that you love and that you care for too. So I'm so grateful that you're here again, and make sure you guys get her book. Her website is toyondawilliams.com, and would love to hear your feedback. Now, if you guys want to be on a guest on the show, you can send me an email to mepoweredwithrhonda@gmail.com. Got a brand new Facebook page, Me Powered. I got a group that I'm starting to, but I want to get a couple of posts up first, because I know once you start those groups, man, everybody's looking every single day for a post or something. So let me get a couple posts going and figure out how to schedule stuff. But I would love for y'all to join the group and everything. But thank you, Toyonda, and I wish you the greatest success. And I just thank you again for being here tonight, and thank you everybody for watching.
Absolutely.
And tune in next week. We're going to have an amazing guest next week as well. And wait till you see some of the lineups that's coming up. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be amazed. So make sure you tune in here. Me Power with Rhonda. We're going to have it every Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye.